Okay, let's piss off some morons today. Hey, don't get mad at me. Stop being morons, and I won't have to make a video explaining how you're all morons. Now, what morons am I talking about in this particular video? Well, it has to do with a topic that I've noticed that's trending on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. And it has to do with the Starship Troopers movie. And the discussion is the messaging of the movie and the argument everybody's having in regards to what is the actual messaging of the movie and how everybody's getting it wrong and blah blah blah. It's about the fascism and the propaganda and how it's supposed to be a satire, and who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. There are no good guys. Now, here's the thing about this discussion and the messaging that you guys are all discussing about. The only way you can have that discussion in regards to what you consider to be the messaging of the movie, you can only have that discussion if you are unaware of an element or an aspect of the movie that renders that messaging irrelevant. It's pointless. If your takeaway from the movie is this messaging of fascism and propaganda and satire, then unfortunately you've all been played. Not only have you been played by the movie, you've played yourself. Now, don't get me wrong. There are those of you who are going, the messaging of the movie is that the government is lying to the public to be able to have the war with the Iraqis. Now, you're close. You're really close. But the problem is you've missed, you're one step short from what I like to call the unintended messaging of the movie. Because it's such a screw up. It's such the aspect of this movie that I'm talking about is such a broken mess of brain dead stupid that it ends up that you've all missed, and that's the problem. There's this brain dead stupid plot hole of epic proportions that because you've all missed it, you end up having this discussion of the messaging. Whereas if you actually were aware of this brain dead stupid plot hole idiocy, you would end up realizing what the unintended message of this movie ends up being. And the reason I call it an unintended message is because even the director wasn't even aware of how stupid he is. Even the director was unaware of how stupid the stupid in this movie was. Now, before I go on, this is not me wanting to trash the movie. I love this movie. I really enjoy the movie. I also enjoyed the book, and I take each one for its own, I think. This is not about trashing the movie. This is about pointing out the stupid in this movie to help you understand what the unintended message ended up being and how your takeaway from this movie is so ridiculous. Now, and speaking of the director, if the director had actually expressed what the unintended messaging was, then he'd be able to go, yes, it was an actual, it was done on purpose. The thing is, the director is literally oblivious to the stupid that he put in this movie, meaning that there's no way he did, so meaning he didn't do it on purpose, meaning it's an unintended messaging of the movie. And it's all based, essentially, off of one scene. And the reason I call it, and another reason it's an unintended messaging, is because this scene happens at the beginning of the movie. It happened at the beginning of the movie. And before I go on, I'm going to show you what the scene is.
The bugs send another meteor our way. But this time, we're ready. Planetary defenses are better than ever. Klendathu, source of the bug meteor attacks, orbits a twin star system whose brutal gravitational forces produce an unlimited supply of bug meteorites in the form of this asteroid belt. To ensure the safety of our solar system, Klendathu must be eliminated.
Now, we're all probably wondering, okay, what does that scene have to do with invalidating the messaging? And what does that scene have to do with this unintended messaging you're talking about? Now, I'm pretty sure that there are some of you who know what I'm talking about. You sit down. I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to the morons. Here's the thing. In that scene, we have a map of the Milky Way galaxy. And on that map, it's showing that Earth is on one end of the galaxy and that Klendathu is on the other end of the galaxy. Now, what is that? Why does that make a big deal? Well, because you see, the distance from Earth to Klendathu is around 100,000 light years away. Now, for those of you who don't understand I understand that there are some of you who are going, okay, 100,000 light years. What does that even mean? That doesn't mean anything to you. Okay. Here's the way I can explain it. 1 light year is, I believe, around 6 trillion miles. So if it's 100,000 light years, and each light year is, again, 6 trillion miles, the distance from Earth to Klendathu is 600,000 trillion miles. Okay? It's 600, roughly, give or take 100,000 or 100 million miles. It's around 600,000 trillion miles away. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, here's the problem. Because Earth is around 100,000 light years away from Klendathu, if an asteroid was traveling at the goddamn speed of light, it would still take that asteroid 100,000 years to reach Earth. But this is why I love that scene in the beginning of the movie, because it also shows the speed of the asteroid as it approaches Earth before the Earth defense system blows it up. And guess what? That asteroid ain't traveling at the speed of light, boys and girls. It ain't even traveling 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's, again, I have no idea how much it's traveling. I don't know how, again, I'm sure somebody online has, calculated the math or whatever. But it would take, but by looking at the speed of the asteroid, it would take, I don't know, millions of years. Okay, you know what? Again, I'm not an astrophysicist. I haven't done the math. But you know what? I'll say 1,000,000 years. Those of you who are smarter than me and know more about this, I'm sure you can correct me in the comments and see how far off I am. But I'm going to go about 1,000,000 years. At the speed that that asteroid is shown in that opening scene, it would take about 1,000,000 years for an asteroid to show up. And that, boys and girls, is the problem. Is because it's a plot hole. It is a plot hole of epic proportions. It is a broken mess of brain-dead stupid, and you all missed it. Because for you to have the discussion that the messaging is about the fascism and the propaganda and how it's satire, you would have to accept this plot hole of ridiculous stupid. Because this plot hole of brain dead stupid renders the idea of being at war with Klandatu and the Arachnids as impossible. It's impossible. Your takeaway from this movie should not be, oh, it's a messaging about fascism and it's a messaging about who are the good guys and who are the bad guys. The takeaway from this movie is it's a broken, the war should never even exist. But none of you are discussing that. I've seen the comments. I followed the threads of these discussions. Nobody in the comments is mentioning, oh yeah, guys, you do know, by the way, that this war is impossible and that this movie's a broken mess of brain dead stupid, right? Nobody's addressing it. You are all oblivious to how stupid the element of this war even existing is. This is why I'm saying you're all morons. You're all morons. Because, and here's also why I said that this movie played you. Because the movie has it that the people on the earth, that the people, that the citizens of Earth, they're not questioning it. They simply accepted it. Just like you, the audience, accepted it. Hence why I'm saying the movie played you. And you played yourself because you're going, oh, I know what the messaging of the movie is. It's all about satire and, fascism and how it's, about. No. You played yourself because you're going, you are so stupid. You didn't realize that there's a plot hole that renders the entire war irrelevant. Now, and this is why I said those of you who are going, oh, it's the government or the military lying to the public. Why you were this close is because you missed a step. You missed the step of not questioning how stupid the reasoning the government is giving the citizens on why they need to go to war. Because again, the citizens, nobody's questioning the government. Nobody's questioning how stupid it is. And you want to go down a rabbit hole? Here's a rabbit hole about this movie. Where are the astrophysicists? Where are the astronomers? They have spaceships, which means you got rocket scientists and engineers that have to calculate being able to travel that distance. Why are they not? Why are they going? Wait a minute. Excuse me. Government, military. This thing about the asteroids. We have a little bit of a problem. Forget astrophysicists and rocket scientists. Science teachers. Science teachers should be going. Excuse me. We have a problem with this asteroid thing going. Forget science teachers. People with a basic knowledge of astronomy. People with a basic knowledge and interest in astronomy should be going, hold on a second. Now, if this movie had established that the military or the government was suppressing this type of information, then you would have had messaging. That would have been great messaging. But the movie doesn't establish that. The movie doesn't incorporate it. Why? Because the director didn't realize how much he screwed up with the plot hole. He's literally, the director of this movie is just as oblivious of the brain dead stupid as all of you who watch this movie are. So of course, the messaging is unintended. And the messaging is not only did the citizens not question how brain dead stupid the reasoning of why they're going to war with the Arachnids, all of you thinking that the messaging is fascism and propaganda, guess what? You didn't question the brain dead stupid of the excuse either. That's the unintended message of this movie, is that the citizens of the planet are morons who don't question the government. And you, the audience, you're part of that same equation. You didn't question the brain dead stupid of the government's ridiculous reason on why they're going to war with the arachnids. But you know what? I'm going to go one step further on how you're all idiots. Let's accept. We'll go along the lines of that. We're accepting this brain dead stupid excuse on the impossibility of this war even happening. We'll accept it and we'll incorporate it, and they're at war with the arachnids and everything is fine. It still doesn't work. It still doesn't work. Why? Because of the destruction of Buenos Aires. Now, what does that got to do with anything? Because the destruction of Buenos Aires in the movie ends up being the catalyst for going to war with the arachnids. The destruction of Buenos Aires is the planet Earth going, that's it, we're done, last straw, we're kicking the arachnids' ass. Okay? And then that's where all the propaganda kicks in on why they need to, on that we have to go to war, and trying to convince the public that we need to go and we have to go kick their ass. Here's the problem. Why is everybody mad at the arachnids for the asteroid? Because they have, at the beginning of the movie, you have the Earth Defense System. Isn't the job of the Earth Defense System to destroy these asteroids? Meaning that the public, when the asteroid hit Buenos Aires, they should be pissed at the Earth Defense System for not having done their job. If what happened in the movie happened in the real world today, there would be a million memes online going, Earth Defense System, you had one job. And there would have been another million memes of Earth Defense System, DEI hired. Everybody would have been pissed and blaming the Earth Defense System for not having done their job. Nobody in the movie is mad at the Earth Defense System for having obviously and blatantly not done their job and screwed up and let an asteroid hit Buenos Aires. But even if we take that aside, we ignore that. We won't even consider that. It still doesn't work because the planet Earth had to have been hit by asteroids a number of times in the first place to establish them having to build the Earth Defense System in the first place. Meaning Earth had to have been hit by at least a dozen or so, who knows how many asteroids they were hit by, before they actually built the Earth Defense System. So let me see if I get this straight. According to this movie, the Earth has been hit numerous times by asteroids before the Earth Defense System was even established. Cities were destroyed, areas were destroyed. Who knows how much death and destruction was caused by these asteroids? And the Earth went, yeah, you know what? It's not worth going to war with. It's fine, not a problem. So if Earth has already been hit by a dozen or more asteroids, and it never bothered them enough to want to go to war with the arachnids, then why the hell does just the destruction of Buenos Aires cause it? The movie doesn't explain it. The movie doesn't establish why destroying Buenos Aires is the reason they go to war when they should have gone to war God knows how many years ago when the first couple of asteroids hit Earth and destroyed whatever. No. They're sending us asteroids We're not going to go to war. We're just going to build an Earth defense system. Oh, okay, fine. Oh, by the way, the Earth defense system screwed up, hit a planet. Oh, instead of being mad at the Earth defense system for not doing their job, we're going to get mad at the arachnids for sending what? The hundredth asteroid? I mean, nothing in this movie makes sense as to why they are going to war with the arachnids. Nothing. Nothing makes sense. And none of you had a problem with any of this. None of you had a problem with any of this. And again, I want to stress, I'm not pointing out the stupid of this movie to trash the movie. I like the movie. I understand it's a broken mess of brain dead stupid. I get it. Unlike the rest of you. I'm pointing out the stupid of this movie to establish how you're all idiots in not having a problem with any of the stupid of this movie because none of you are addressing any of it in any of these discussions about the messaging in these discussions regarding the Starship Troopers movie. And the reason none of you are addressing any of the brain dead stupid in this movie is because you're too stupid to notice any of the stupid that was happening. And ain't nobody else gonna tell you because everybody else is just as stupid as you are. So I have to do it because I'm here for you. I do this for you. It's just the kind of guy I am. I mean, there's other examples of the brain dead stupid that you guys all missed in this movie, but the point of this video is that, again, the point of the video isn't to trash this movie. The point of this video is that all of you discussing the so-called messaging that you think that this movie is all about, you're all morons because you've literally missed the plot. You've lost the plot. You are totally oblivious to the stupid in this movie so that you can have your brain dead stupid discussion over something that isn't even relevant. Anyway, I could probably keep going, but I'm done. I'm good. Got out of my system. I'm done dealing with you morons. I gotta go get something to eat. Anyway, I'm good. I'm done. I'm out of here. See ya.